Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today with some Queen Walk basics for Town Hall 9 for low-level heroes specifically. Before we get into the replays today, I do want to cover some Queen Walk basics. So your queen will always target closest unit within 7 tiles that she can access, so precluding units that are on the other side of wall. Number 2, the queen's attack range is 5 tiles, and number 3, she is inclined to hug walls. Always take that into account. She'll move closer to danger areas at times than you may have anticipated. So when you're going ahead and planning out your next queen walk attack, take those 3 points into consideration. It will especially help you when trying to determine what direction your queen is headed. You can actually pick your drop point on your queen and then count the tiles, and then you can predict the way she's going to head, predict the direction and the AI of the queen. So make sure you write those down or screenshot those tips that I shared at the beginning of this episode, because that's going to come into play and come very handy for you down the line. So all of these replays today, actually this level 11 queen is going to be the highest level queen we see, so this is specifically going to be catered towards folks with lower level or mid-level heroes. Now, of course, all these principles still work if you have higher level heroes, of course, as well. So getting into this first raid, it's going to be a queen walk followed by a mass Valkyrie attack on this anti-3-star Town Hall 9 base. You can see that Cindy goes ahead and starts her queen walk from around 3 o'clock. Now, you have to be aware on these queen walks that if you're going to use a queen walk with a very low level queen, she's going to move very slowly because her damage per second is relatively low compared to a higher level. For example, a level 30 queen, you can actually let the queens walk much longer. So with all these attacks, you should really have in mind a relatively short duration on your queen walk. Now, when I say short duration, I basically mean the time that you're going to allow your queen to walk around this base on her own without deploying your golem, your Valkyries, or your Barbarian King. Now, Cindy uses a very, very good tactic, and this is one you're going to want to get familiar with, and that's choosing a nice safe location to start your queen walk and then having her head in another safe direction that's opposite your entry point on the base. So let me kind of break that down so it makes more sense. Cindy started her queen walk around 3 o'clock on this base, and then she started her golem around 2 o'clock on this base, followed by the Valkyries. She knew the queen was going to go south. She made sure that the queen was indeed going in the anticipated direction, and then she went ahead and engaged the rest of the attack with a kill squad. Now, for those of you who may not know, because you might be beginners, a kill squad is basically just another word for the main portion of your attack. In this case, the golem, the Barbarian King, and the Valkyries. If you had back-end hogs, for example, to help on the back end of the attack, like you're going to see in this raid, the hogs wouldn't be considered part of the kill squad. They would be a back-end attack, and you're going to start out again with the queen walk. So this episode is mainly geared to be talking about the queen walk specifically, so let's really get into the nitty-gritty here. First off, train your eye on the queen right now. So the 4 healers, you should always take 4 healers on these attacks, because if you start stacking more than 4 healers on your queen, it will start to be very, very ineffective in terms of your value on each healer. The more healers you add, the less effect they have, their healing effect has, to the point where above 6 healers, you're seeing almost no effect of the additional healers onto your queen. So to keep your queen alive, you have 2 tools at your disposal. One, you have Rage Spell. Just make sure you drop the Rage on the healers. Most importantly, ideally, both the queen and the healers. And the other ability you have to keep your queen alive is the Royal Cloak. Now, I want you guys to do me a favor now and rewind about 10 seconds and watch the queen's pathing. This raid is a perfect example of what I talked about to lead off this episode. You can see that the queen had a bunch of closer targets inside those walls, but instead she chose to redirect her pathing towards that builder's hut, because the builder's hut was actually within 7 tiles distance, so that changed the entire pathing of the queen. So Rilksy already knew that going into the attack, so he planned it that way, that the queen would start out around 4 o'clock, he would trigger the clan castle, and then the queen would move towards where the rest of the army is going to enter, the kill squad, and you can see the kill squad doing well right now, and then Rilksy's going to go ahead and use the hogs as the back end right now. They're going to clean up all the defensive units, and it's going to be a really successful raid. You can see the queen not doing too much work right now. Unfortunately, that's one of the downsides of having a low-level queen, is she can really get hung up on those walls. But again, on this attack here, the queen's going to still play a pivotal role when you keep her alive at the beginning and you keep her alive towards the end of the raid. She's going to play a very important role with actually 3 things in this attack. Number 1, she's going to be a great initiator of the funnel. She's going to really clear out one side of the funnel for your kill squad. That way, when you drop your kill squad, the queen's already going to have one area of what would have been distracting units already down off the board. Another way the queen's going to be helpful is obviously in cleanup, and the third way the queen's going to be helpful is she's a great method to cheaply and easily kill the clan castle if you can go ahead and lure it mid-raid, as you saw there on that last raid. Now, on the last raid of today's video, we're going to take all the knowledge that we gained throughout the first 2 raids and put it all into action here. So Rilksy again decides to go ahead and start the queen walk from around 3 o'clock. He goes ahead and he adds a wizard to this first phase of the attack, because you can see all the defensive units are distracted, and the queen is so low level that if she was by herself here, it would have taken her a decent amount of time, and time is still of the essence. You don't want your queen walk portion of the raid to really go any longer than 1 minute. So at the 2-minute mark, which is right now in this raid, you're going to see Rilksy goes ahead and deploys a wizard, and then soon after, the golem down here around 6 o'clock will be deployed. There it is, and you can see here the queen's still alive. Now, on all these raids, the attacker chose to start the queen from an area where she wouldn't be engaging an expo right off the bat, and that's why when I said earlier that you deploy your queen initially in a safe area, this is exactly what I meant. Deploy your queen in an area where she's not going to have to engage more than 2-point defenses at a time, especially if she's lower than level 10 or even 15. So what are point defenses? Cannons, Teslas, X-bows, and archer towers. So you never want to go ahead and put her up against more than 2 of those at the same time here. Or if you have a max level X-bow for Town Hall 9 and a max level cannon or archer tower, that could still spell trouble as well. You might have to go ahead and use a rage spell on the healers to keep her alive, or to use the royal cloak ability to keep her alive. But as you can see here, just like we talked about in the first replay, the queen is actually taking the long way around, entering the base from the opposite area as the kill squad. That's how I prefer to 9 times out of 10 run my queen walks as well at Town Hall 9. I like when my queen goes around the base. She basically takes out half the base on her own here, and you can see he had kind of funky pathing with the Valkyries, but it's all going to work out in the end. I really like this army composition. If you're looking for a nice tried and true army composition, this is a great one with back-end hogs and Valkyries. Those 6 hogs actually can really help out, as you saw on this raid. So before I let you go, guys, today I do want to give you one more tip for your first queen walk or when planning queen walk. So we have some fundamentals down already. We know her pathing, we know how to keep her alive, and we know some good army compositions. I did want to leave you with one final tip, and that is always have a plan B ready on these raids. This is very important. When you're running through your strategy in your head, how you're going to attack a base, make sure you account for what if the queen goes in the opposite direction. Have a plan B, plan out your entire attack using the worst case scenario, just so you're not surprised when things go awry mid-raid. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I truly appreciate it, and as always, take care, guys.